Welcome to another edition of the Dementia Care Partner Talk Show. Now, here's dementia care expert Teepa Snow and your host, Greg Phelps.
Hello and welcome to the Dementia Care Partners podcast. My name is Greg Phelps, and joining me once again is dementia care expert Teepa Snow. And Teepa, we've done a lot of podcasts over the years, and I'm not sure if we've ever talked about how you explain dementia or brain change to children. At a certain age, they're bound to notice that Nana or Papa isn't quite the same, and sometimes the changes are subtle, other times the changes can be sudden and, for children, very upsetting. The person they know, love, cuddle with is gone.
Yeah, and they're yelling at them or berating them or saying shut up or doing things that, they would never have done. So one of the things I'll usually do is talk about brains first and how brains work, and talk about the primitive brain and how it works in them. And then I'll say, now, what happens when your amygdala turns on and you don't like something? What happens for you?
I'm going to run away. That's it. Sure.
You run away. Okay. Some of you will run and you'll be scared. And some of you will want to fight. Some of you will want to, no. Have you ever watched any of your peers or, have you ever done it? Yeah. Well, with the changes that Nana's having, one of the things that's happening is Nana's brain is changing, and it's causing her to not be able to think like she did. And so now things that didn't used to bother her, and they bother her a lot. So where you want to run away from that situation, Nana wants to fight. So what are words what we might hear Nana say?
And so there's a whole bunch of potty mouth ones that Nana might say.
Yeah, and so Nana would never have said that. So that's not Nana, that's Nana's brain change. And the word for that, people call that, what you're going to hear people call that is dementia. It's a word that means Nana's brain is not working like it used to. And it's not Nana's choice. She's not trying to make it. And here's the really bad part. Sometimes Nana's brain will work and sometimes it won't. So that makes it super tricky. So guess what your brain, your amygdala might do sometimes if you don't know when it's going to happen. You might get startled. And when that happens, you might react. So we're going to practice a little bit about your options. What can you do different? What can you do that makes it different because you don't like it? And so I wonder what it was we did that startled Nana. So now we start exploring how can I have some control? How can I feel? Who can I talk to? Because I think the hard part for kids is they don't know what's okay to talk about and what's off limits. And too often adults don't talk about anything. Well, Nana's got some problems. What can I tell you? Nana's just not herself. That's not really empowering a kid. That's just telling me my Nana's changing. And well, why doesn't Nana say she loves me anymore? It's like, yeah, that's a really hard one, but rather than helping families. And so, we've done a couple of kids' books with the focus being on the adult reading the story to the child and then talking about it. We have talking points in the story because we know it's hard. It's not easy, even to adolescents talk about this with their own changing brain. But without talking about it, we talk about it. So they hear the conversations in the kitchen. They hear them in the hallway. They hear, I can't believe, those things happen. And sometimes kids imitate us, and sometimes kids just get worried and scared and they don't know what to do. And there are some other books out there that I've enjoyed reading that are kid perspective. But I think there's too little, and it's often done too late.
You've always advised know your person, know your person, know your person. Mm-hmm. That can apply to the person living with dementia, but also I think you have to know your audience if you're going to. I'm not going to give you all of my scientific research on dementia. I'm going to try and find something that relates or you can relate to.
Yeah, and so that's one of the reasons we opted to get an inflatable brain. It's a great big inflatable brain you can walk through. So kids have fun, they get curious, they ask questions. We have the amygdala in there, we have the hippocampal area in there. We've got, your outside brain, we have the occipital area, we have everything. And so when we give tours and we have kids start to give tours to other kids, they start understanding, so you can't actually, you see with your eyes, but you can't do anything with what you see unless you have your brain. Wow. Huh. And it's like, huh. So your eyes don't do it all. Nope. That's your brain. Wow. I didn't know that. Because you'll be amazed what kids think about eyes when you get
So
curious.
without having to book time with Teepa or one of your trainers or anybody else, are there books that are available to children?
I just happen to have one on my shelf because the other one's missing because somebody else needed it at the time. It's called Grandma's Living with Dementia, Positive Approach to Learning About Dementia for Kids. And we had one on bad words, probably because my kids know me and they figured they should get that one out of the way pretty soon before
Have
things
that
change.
one handy.
Might come in handy. But yeah, so we have a couple of resources. We also have some of our resources that are geared toward adults, but encourage kids. We have a storybook that we did a while back, which is Heart of Gems, which is another one that allows us to have an adult read a story and then has activities that you can engage in for the different gem states.
Are those all available online?
They are. They are. Yeah, both on Amazon, and I think they're on Amazon now, and in our store. So yeah, but if you're curious and you need more info to figure out whether it'd be a good match, schedule a half-hour consult so we can sort of talk it. You can talk it through with somebody if you want to, or text us or email us. Let us know because we're here to support this process. And then we can also tell you about some other resources out there that are not our resources. They're other groups' resources, but boy, do they do a nice job.
Teepa, thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg.
You've been listening to the Dementia Care Partners podcast brought to you by Positive Approach to Care. For more information, go to teepasnow.com.